What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of For Dummies, and tonight I am joined with the other three dummies. I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
I have Robert Detoff. I have Jisquin.
What's happening?
Whatever.
And tonight we're going to talk about exclusives. Exclusives have become a little bit more problematic, especially with Hasbro kind of doing this faux version of them, or whatever it seems, or at least limited exclusives. I will say this, that I think exclusives have their place in the market, but I think that they need to fit a specific kind of notch. Like, did you ever have one of those balls when you were a kid and it was like half blue and half red and had cut out spaces and stars and squares and circles went into them, different shapes? It helped you learn your shapes as a young person.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, gotcha.
I feel like exclusives is one of those shapes, but I often feel like they try to fit that shape into something else.
Here's why I'm frustrated just with exclusives in general, because they're not really exclusives. At some point, it just gets released everywhere after the fact.
That's a valid point. That's been happening more and more recently.
Especially like with the action figure line, like Marvel Legends and like that. You know?
I can't think of a better example. I bought these Marvel Legends exclusives, and every exclusive batch that I've bought, they've released them individually.
Yeah.
But all of the ones that I want, they've never released individually that are exclusives.
Maybe they just mean exclusive release.
It's almost like it's almost like they didn't release a certain set to teach me a lesson, and then once they taught me the lesson, they didn't bother teaching anybody else. Is how I feel.
I'm really on the same line as Jisk. Things are advertised as exclusives, but they're not. They should be advertised as early release, right? Get this 6 months early, buy it. We'll sell it to you 6 months early. It's not an exclusive, but they call early releases exclusives, and then they're not calling exclusives exclusives. HasLab, what they do is an exclusive. They're like, okay, fund the project, you get it. Once it's done, you can't buy it. That's an exclusive
So far.
But I mean, there's been some, especially like in the third-party Transformer world, there's been some legit exclusives.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I feel like for cons and stuff,
Absolutely.
there's definitely been,
And I'll also say that I think that third party overall has chosen fairly classy choices for exclusives.
Okay, what was the true exclusive?
What about the G2 Stunicons from Fans Project?
Yes, I would say that's an exclusive.
Yeah.
Bad Cube released that weathered Warpath. That never
Yep.
got released like anywhere else.
Yeah, but okay, then what makes it it's an exclusive? A limited run's not an exclusive. It was just a limited run.
No, because it was for that event. I think it has to be tied to an event too.
Yeah, like you have to get it.
Well, I mean, that's not true because some of it's like a Target exclusive
Yeah,
or
or from a
whatever.
store. It has to come from a specific place.
Yeah, this is, it's funny that, people getting mad. Oh, you bought an exclusive. I feel excluded. You're a bad person. That's the whole point of an exclusive. You're excluded, you idiot. But like, okay,
That's true.
Flame Toys, what they do is their official store is D4 Toys, and if you pre-order through their store, you get the exclusive release. It's just an accessory, some type of accessory that's exclusive. Like the Optimus Prime came with the Mammoth Axe, which was really cool. The Star Saber came with LED eyes that you broke. Thank you for that. But the fact is, they are exclusives. If you want to have that set, it's an exclusive to this store forever, and it will sell out.
What do you think is appropriate to be that sort of exclusive? Like the Hong Kong store exclusive or the con exclusive? Like, what is the appropriate choice for that? I guess what I'm saying is, like, should Optimus Prime be an exclusive?
I mean, maybe a specialized one.
Right.
I think it can be, right. Like, I think it can be. Like, that Ghostbusters one is something that I would consider, like, an exclusive.
Yes, I think that's fair, right? But now we're making it very specific.
Right.
Like, I think that the key to exclusives is that it's something niche. It's something that doesn't kill the rest of the community and yet celebrate the people that were willing to make the sacrifice to attend the event or whatever the case may be. Whenever I think about exclusives and I think about poor choices, the first thing I go to is the G.I. Joe 25th anniversary line in Zorana. For those that aren't familiar, she's like a main dreadnought of Cobra. This is a character that has pivotal moments in the lore. It's important to the film. It goes on and on and on. That's not a character that you make exclusive and then charge out the nose for it. If you want to do something like that, you give her a specific deco and make that an exclusive, but you don't make the key characters exclusive.
No, yeah, that goes like Prime, right? Let's say MMC. You saw this MMC Prime coming out?
I did.
High particular, you can grab his ankle. Let's say they release that. That's a retail. The exclusive, like you say, would be a deco. Make him gray and battle damaged.
Mm-hmm.
That's the exclusive con version, you know?
Yeah, it's niche. It's limited. Either you're...
And it has a place, too. You get your dead Prime who's all f***ed up.
Correct. You know? I think that like there's a number of exclusives recently, not necessarily in the Transformer world, but in the action figure world that have been troubling. Like the Black Series that have been hitting Walmart exclusively, it seems, that sold out before it even went live. The G.I. Joe classified stuff to Target sold out before it even basically went in live. Like the NECA stuff with Target. Like there's been a lot of that stuff recently that's been exclusive to a specific store and has had a tremendously negative impact on the community of people that are purchasing it. Less and less people are able to obtain the things that they want.
Yeah, I don't think it's right.
And all of them by pretty established companies that should be able to supply the market, should be able to supply the people with what they want. And you're seeing the same stuff go on eBay within 10 minutes of it selling out for 5 times the market value.
Yeah.
Instead of the whole idea of like, okay, you made a trek to go to an event and here's like a bonus thing that made it exciting and it's a trip from the event, you know, and it's also a cool thing. It's like, okay, so now a retailer can just get sole rights to sell something and now call that an exclusive and attach the value and the attractiveness of something that's quote unquote exclusive when it's really not an exclusive.
I agree.
It's available. Anybody who shops at that store if they can find it.
I agree. And the 2020 market is different. There's things being said now that I've never heard before. This is the street date. This is like, what are you selling, Coke?
I'll tell you about that stuff though. The street date stuff that's where like the retailer can't put it out. That's why it's called the street dates. They can't put it out before that date.
Correct. And I understand that. And it's always been there. It's always been there, right? Especially with like stuff related to films. Like if it was a Black Series wave that was tied directly into The Last Jedi, they couldn't release it up until a certain date. That was the street date. However, it's never been this crazy where almost everything has a specific like usually the pegs get emptied, you order the next stock, the stock comes in, it might be the next wave, it might be the previous wave. You get what you get and you don't get upset. You know, but now it's like, no, this is the next wave and this is the street date. It's August 30th. Better not do it or I'm gonna come in there and cut your head off. The toy game now has changed. 2020, I don't know if it's Bud Ice, I don't know if it's Toys R Us, but it's different. It's different in mass retail. It's not the same. I do think that the word exclusive, like it needs to mean something. Like if it's exclusive, then that's it. You had to get it there, or you have to get it on the second market, and you have to pay out the nose for it. That's what it is.
I feel like exclusive kind of means pay out that for it anyway.
It does, and yet then they end up releasing it again, or they end up having a re-release, or here it is with one less paint app. Here it is with one, you know what I mean? Like you can't double down on the exclusive outlet and simultaneously backpedal on it being exclusive in the first place.
That's still the problem too. Is exclusive gets re-released, but at the same time, so you're like, I'm not going to buy it. I'll just wait. But then there's legit some stuff out there that is legit still exclusive.
There's the other thing, right? Of like limited exclusivity. Hasbro specifically is doing this thing where they're not saying it's exclusive, but they're like just saying, look, this is where it's available. We're not saying it's exclusive. It might come later on to whoever who you might catch it somewhere. You know, you don't know. But right now, this is where I know it's available. So it's that whole Clone Wars, Star Wars Black Series wave that went to Walmart specifically. And then it's the whole G.I. Joe Baroness situation that went to Target specifically. Those are two examples of things that like they've never come out and said this is an exclusive product to this store. They've just said, this is where you can find it right now.
But do you think that's better? At least they're not labeling it as like an exclusive. You know what I mean? It's like, look, you can get it at Target.
Yes, but like I'd rather know. You know, like smoke and mirrors, like no, Windex and napkin is what I want. Like just tell me what it is. Am I going to be able to get it anywhere in 6 months? Then let me know that. If I only can get it here right now, then let me know because I'll pay through the nose for it if I have to get it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
They'll never do that only because they want you to buy it now.
Exactly.
They don't want you to buy it in 6 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this though. Do you think they are aware how difficult a time their customers have finding the product in the stores? Do you think they're aware of it, and do you think they care?
I think that the G.I. Joe thing has made them aware. I think the Toon Turtle stuff has made NECA aware. I went to their Instagrams, right? And I clicked on some of the NECA stuff. There's this like branch of posts that all have like 500 comments. And each one of them is like, what a terrible company. Yeah, thanks for your bots and you can't control the input output of your all this, and then I go to G.I. Joe Classified and it's the same thing. Now, since then, I have noticed the change. The April seems to be everywhere, and I don't think you're going to run into the same problems that this last G.I. Joe wave ran into with Baroness and the Cobra Trooper and Beachhead. But who knows? I feel like they don't realize the rabid fan base, and that's what doesn't make any sense to me. It's supply demand, and I shouldn't have to be the one to teach them.
I think they're turning a blind eye to it, or they're downplaying what's happening to their customers, because people are losing out because you'll have people camping outside. They're going to the Target 2 hours before they open, or they have friends who work there, or whatever they do, and they grab up everything, and then they scalp. You know, that's what's going on. And then
but they, why would they care about that? I wouldn't care about that. I'm like, all my getting bought. What does it matter?
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, if I'm an apple pie salesman and every fifth apple pie has a turd in it, I'm losing that customer. I'm putting a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, but that's
not how they see it.
You're having one person buying all 5 apple pies, and that person that's buying all 5 is putting the turd in one. They're still getting their money. Somebody's still buying all of their stuff.
No, they're cutting off their nose to spite their face, because eventually that person will get fed up and lose interest in their product.
I'm going to side with Robert on this one. I've seen a lot of people back out recently. I've seen people like, look, I'm selling all of my turtles because it's just not worth the headache.
I agree with Jisk, actually. It doesn't matter. If my selling out, they don't care. It's all numbers and the bottom line at the end of the day. So I made 100 of them. I sold 100 of them. I win.
I agree, but wouldn't you rather 150 sell out?
I mean, they're still going to sell it. It's still that one dude, instead of buying 100, is now going to buy all 150. Like, they're going to be bought.
But what I'm trying to say is, yes, this batch will be bought, and maybe the next one, and the next one. But if you keep doing that, you keep upsetting. And
so if this batch is bought, and then this batch, 25 or 30% of it goes on eBay or whatever, and is sold at 300%, like, I bet you they're smiling, because that makes their product more valuable.
But what does that?
And more in demand.
In demand, okay.
My point is the long game, the long-term effects, and what that means to their bottom line.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is how that corrects itself. You have a guy that scalps, right? And he can't sell them because nobody wants to pay that price, so he doesn't scalp the next round.
Right, but those people are out of the game anyway, and then less people are buying their product at retail. They're losing customers. Ultimately, that's worse.
I do think that customers are being lost. For instance, Fans Toys' availability of product has gone way down.
Right.
Yep.
That being said, I haven't seen anybody say, you know what, Fans Toys has become too difficult to obtain. I'm getting rid of all of it.
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
you know what I have seen? Turtles and G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
It's too difficult to obtain. I'm getting rid of all of it. I've seen it.
Okay, well, I'm not following those peeps on Instagram.
Fat rolls. Yes,
Inflatable hot tubs.
A Beckway carpet. I need the recipe for pepper in the nation's variation on a cheese curl.
Yes.